on guys, it's Sungod here, and today it's quite a special video because I will be teaching you how to play Elise in her entirety, her combos, and the things you want to be doing on the champion, and of course her secrets. I climbed all the way to Challenger in Korea with this pick, and she's really strong as a support. Why? Because she has much more freedom as a support that she does in the jungle. You can make her work in the jungle, of course, but I do firmly believe that her support pick is a lot more insane because of this freedom that I was talking about. You have access to both your human and spider form straight from level 1. In human form, your auto attacks will be ranged, and you'll be able to store 2 spiderlings. In spider form, however, your attacks are melee with 125 range. You awaken the spiderlings to help you in battle. In spider form, you'll have 25 extra movement speed. Each of your auto attacks will deal bonus magic damage and life regen. Every time you level up your R ability, you'll get more spiders, so you'll be able to store up to 5 spiders. You can do a ranged auto attack that will account as a melee auto attack by cancelling with your R. The difference isn't that noticeable in the early game, but I promise you that it makes a massive difference in the later stages of the game, as you can see here. You can Q in human form, then auto attack cancel with your R. Detail number 2. Let your spiderlings finish your target. First, you need to target a champion with your spider form Q, and that will aggro all your spiderlings onto that target. This is more commonly used when you're diving a tower, as you can switch aggro while still doing damage. You can use the spiderlings to block any ability. Let the spiderlings do the tanking for you, whether it's an ability, tower damage, and also objectives. When you transform into your spider form, your spiderlings won't appear until a second later. Notice how they're transparent? In this state, they can be used to block an ability. When you're blocking an ability, you have to get into spider form earlier and turn your back to your opponent. Oh, did I mention that your spiderlings will ignore collision when you enter a bush? Here, the 5 spiders all grouped up into one, making it harder to dodge a certain ability. Under normal circumstances, your spider will follow a 2 to 3 formation. It's about the size of a champion. However, in the grass, the spiderlings started walking together, making it harder to block an ability. When you want your spiderlings to do tanking for you, for example in Herald, to not get a debuff, you have to first aggro your spiderlings on it, pull away, and then let your spiderlings tank, so you can quickly take the objective. It's important to understand how the spiderlings aggro works. They work like minions. As long as you personally don't take aggro with Elise, the tower will not focus you, allowing you to do damage with the spiderlings and then finish off your target. Elise's Q Neurotoxin is very simple to understand. In human form, she fires the toxin dealing magic damage and max % HP damage, and in the spider form, she pounces at her target dealing magic damage and max % HP damage. Both attacks deal more damage the lower HP your target is. There's actually a difference between doing auto attack then Q and Q then auto attack. You actually do more damage with the Q into auto attack combo. In most cases, you do want to do Q into auto attack to proc your Lich Bane, except in situations where you really count. For example, when you want to finish off a target. Remember that you can also redirect your spider with your Q. You just throw the spider, and then you lunge at your opponent, and you will see that the spider will automatically lunge at your target, making it a burst combo. Let's say you're against Lee Sin, and he wants to R you while you're going on him. You can basically cancel your Q with either Zhonya's, or Flash, or even with Smite. You can basically smite the target, and your Q will still be available to you afterwards, giving you a free dash. You can use this in fancy combos, or if you really need it for the extra range. Elise summons an exploding spider that hones towards the nearest target. It moves towards the location you specify with your mouse, and without a target, the spider will stay put and explode 3 seconds later. In spider form, if you press W, your spiderlings will gain massive attack speed. The AP ratio on the W is extremely high, a whopping 95% AP ratio AoE ability, and it is a very unique ability in the game. The W will do a ridiculous amount of damage later on in the game with some AP. Let's talk about the hidden mechanic on Elise's W. Elise's W spider has two hidden mechanisms. The detection mechanism of Elise's W is fairly outdated, as it attempts to detect a champion every 0.264th of a second. Here, you can see that the second target got hit in the example below, but not in the above one. That's because the detection mechanism is slow and poorly coded. Here, you can see that the spider went a little bit further. And this brings us to the second hidden mechanism. After the spider reaches the target location, it will chase nearby enemies, and during the chase, the spider will also gain additional movement speed. In general, the ability is clunky, but is still fairly powerful. Elise's W is very straightforward. You get passive bonus attack speed, and the active gives you a lot more bonus attack speed. Remember that it doesn't scale with AP, only levels. Do keep in mind that it's very preferable to do damage before using your spider flick. Elise's E has a lot of skill expression. Her human form is a long-range stun cocoon, stun duration scaling with points on her E, and finally her spider form is a mini Sonya, making you untargetable for 2 seconds. Repress E to land on a target of your choice. It's important to note that during your spider form E, you are granted sight even in the fog of war, great for vision control and spotting enemies hiding. Elise's cocoon does not take tower aggro, since it deals 0 damage, and it's important to be as patient as possible during dives using your cocoon. Throw your cocoon when you have a great angle, take aggro by doing damage, and don't panic. You can easily reset the tower aggro using your spider form E, since you are untargetable. Elise's E is very special. Upon pressing the spider form E and putting the cursor on yourself, you will see a circle around you. If you press E again, you will ascend immediately. But if your cursor is outside the E range, Elise will walk in that direction until you get in that circle. I suggest either putting the cursor on yourself or using Alt plus E. In order to proc your passive Spider Queen, you need to make sure to put your cursor on the target you want to land on. You'll get a lot of passive damage and healing. If you put your cursor next to the target, you will see that the passive won't proc. Right-clicking on the target is always better than pressing E for landing. That's a problem with League of Legends code. It's hard to explain exactly what happens, however, if you use the movement command on the specified target, you'll get 125 range upon landing. Here's an example on both so you can see the difference. I will try to use E to land, but you can see that it is simply impossible to land on the big wall. However, if I use right-click on the target, then it's not a problem. It's important to note that while you are untargetable during your E animation, you're still going to take damage from certain abilities, like for example Fiddlestick's Drain, or Brand's Fire, or even any kinds of burn damage if it happened before the E animation. I'm going to show you some spots that you can use your E on to get to jungle camps faster, or objectives, or even get out of like sticky situations, like blast cones, vision cones. It's very, very useful to know these things. Just to be clear, no matter the situation, when you do your combos on Elise, you must start with your human form, because you have no follow-up with your human form, and the damage is subpar. However, if you use your human form first, and then finish up your target with spider form, you'll be able to burst literally anyone. Think of it as, human form is for setting up, and spider form is to follow up. Let's first learn 2 basic sets of combos, EWQ in human form and auto attack WQ in spider form. Those 2 combos will be your foundations for the next combos. You want to use E first, W right after, into Q, R, auto attack, W, auto attack, and then finish off with Q. Make sure to use E with W together. If your opponent doesn't have vision on you, you want to start your combo W and then after E, Q, R, auto attack W into auto attack into Q. That's because it's faster. It's really important to do it properly, especially when your stun duration is lower in the early game. This is the next combo. EWQ into auto attack R, into Q, auto attack, into W, auto attack, and then finish off with Q. You should be doing this combo at the later stages of the game when your stun duration goes to 2.4 seconds. If you hit a max range cocoon, you can do the following combo. EWR into E, auto attack, W, auto attack, Q, into auto attack. Remember, you want to use this combo at the later stages of the game when your stun duration is actually higher. And you don't want to use Q if you hit a max range cocoon because your Q range is 575 and your cocoon is 1100. So you want to directly leap on the target and then start dealing some damage. If you feel like you're not going to have enough damage, then you can add a flash after the E. Basically the same combo. You can also take your opponent by surprise by doing QRQ. It's excellent if you're fed. You can also make your exploding spider appear right after your flash by doing W flash and finish off your target with a Q. Look. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure to check the description down below if you're interested in joining my Discord server. Peace out.